Hello and happy Monday, everybody. How are you doing?
Leanna's back.
Oh, it's nice to see you. Stories we're working on tonight at 5 o'clock. Certain things that are in high demand when you're at the store. You might be able to get a tax break on them. We'll talk about that.
Plus, the city of Lewiston gets kind of a bad rap. We're going to look into a new article saying you should retire there.
Plus, one of the best 40-pound wrestlers in the country. You will meet the little guy.
This is News Center now. I'm Amanda Hill.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. How are you?
Welcome back, sir.
Nice to see you.
Welcome back.
Where you been?
Where have you been? I've been right here.
Warmer. I've been warmer than here. Yeah. I mean, but it's good to be back.
Good. It's good to have you back.
Missed all the peeps, and here we are.
We have so much to talk about tonight.
And it's Monday. I mean, this is a busy Monday.
It's Monday.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So the town of Lewiston.
Yes, let's talk about Lewiston.
A lot of times, not always getting all kinds of love. But believe it or not, Lewiston has been named one of the top 25 places in the entire country where you'd want to retire. The city has a tough reputation. It's within the state. It's even got the less than flattering nickname of the Dirty Lou. But Lewiston is getting some very positive attention from people that are just outside the state.
Right. The article considered communities in all 50 states looking at housing costs and taxes, access to medical care, crime rates and opportunities for volunteering and exercise. So we did some digging to match up the statistics. Do we unfairly judge Lewiston here? Worst city in Maine, says Rob. If you live in Maine, you know Lewiston is the last place you'd live, exclaims Mark. Even I grew up a few towns over hearing, don't go down streets named after trees. But is Lewiston really that bad, or are we judging it based on rumors and one small downtown? I stopped into City Hall to find out.
The area that's discussed most often is this area right here.
The Forbes article cites a very low serious crime rate. City Administrator Phil Netto says crime has actually been steadily declining within the city. I just want to read a Facebook post to you. Monique says, put it this way, driving through Lewiston, especially at night, is the equivalent of driving through parts of New York. Don't stop, make sure your car has plenty of gas, make sure your windows are up and your doors are locked.
Absolutely ridiculous. You know, first of all, the data clearly doesn't even suggest that that's the case. First of all, she's dealing with a state that's one of the safest states in the country, number one. Number two of the 5 largest cities in Maine by a number of metrics. You know, we're the safest of the 5 largest cities in the state.
Is that true? According to data by the Lewiston Police Department, since 2012, there have been 2 homicides reported. Compare that to Portland. Granted, it's a larger city, but there have been 8 homicides in that same amount of time. Comment after comment about bed bugs, dirty streets. You'll find that in Lewiston, as you will in most cities, but you'll also find neighborhoods with high home values and, as the article points out, access to health care, to major hospitals in a city with a population of about 30,000 people.
We're not afraid of people's opinions. Lewiston has a significant number of changes to its community, to its downtown. If people would like to see just how different the city looks than it looked some 20 or more years ago, they're welcome to take a look at the array of pictures that I've pulled together before and after. And anyone that looks at those pictures and continues to argue the fact that the city isn't different physically isn't paying attention.
Okay, so we had like hundreds of comments on this post on Facebook, and a lot of them were, you know, Lewiston is the worst city in Maine. How could this article be true? I will say, though, reading through a lot of those comments, the positive ones were people who actually live in Lewiston and say, you know what, this is my city. I actually see what happens every day. So
well, that's the thing. Is it more of an impression? Is it people who just kind of have heard about it, so that's what they assume is true, or the people who actually live there and have seen the change like he was talking about?
Right.
So.
Right. Outweighing those comments. Yeah.
All right. Gorgeous spring day out there today. Keep it coming,
Come on,
Carson.
Keith.
Come on, baby.
Not gonna happen. Sorry. This is it. Actually, enjoy the next couple of hours because, yeah, things are going downhill after that. It's in the upper 50s along the coastline. Look at Freiburg sitting at 68, though, and I think their high was close to 70 if they didn't get there. 60 in Bar Harbor as well. There's an ocean influence, but nice and clear out there. Just a few clouds up 95. And that's how the day will close out, and most of tonight will be clear as well. Actually, temperatures will drop off pretty quickly into the upper 30s in spots. But look at this mess coming our way. You don't need much in the way of computer models to figure out that the next 2 days aren't going to turn out too well when you have rain from New York down to South Carolina. And that's what's going on, and it's coming in our direction. So tomorrow we start to cloud up. Tomorrow morning over southern Maine, we will see some early sun over the northern half of the state particularly, but here come the clouds and here comes the rain from Tuesday afternoon through Tuesday night through the entire day on Wednesday. It's just a matter of how hard it's raining. There will be some heavy rain bands in there. Temperatures as a result will stay in the 50s at best. We'll talk about rainfall amounts, guys. There is actually a little bit of flooding concern with our next storm system. Details on that in a few minutes.
All right, Keith. Hey, a new bill in Augusta could save families some money. It's getting a lot of attention online, too.
Yeah, Jess is here looking into the proposal, which would exempt diapers from sales tax. That would save me millions of dollars a year.
You and a lot of people, actually, because diapers are one of the constant and necessary expenses that come along with starting a family. Just ask the Bernards, who are new parents to twins.
We were surprised. I mean, you know, people talk about how much it adds up, but I think until you actually are, you know, at your last diaper and thinking, I just bought diapers like 2 days ago, like this is crazy.
LD76 would eliminate the sales tax on disposable and reusable diapers. Representative Tepler of Topsom says she presented it as a way to attract young families and young workers to the state. She says there are not many exemptions that help with the costs new parents have to take on. The Taxation Committee voted the bill down by a very slim margin, 6-4 and 7 against. It will now go to the House floor for a vote. Another similar bill that did get the stamp of approval from the Taxation Committee is LD206, which would eliminate the tax on feminine hygiene products. That will also head to the House for a vote. Now, like we said before, these bills had you talking online today. Charity says diapers and feminine hygiene products are a good start. Now add toilet paper to the list. And Norm Lohr agrees. He said these two at the very least. And Angela had a comment about how much this will actually save families. So we looked into it. WhatToExpect.com says you can expect to change about 2,700 diapers in the first year of your baby's life. And they say that's a lot. And they say disposable diapers range from about 14 cents to 25 cents. So Maine families would be saving about $20 to $37 annually. But some others are commenting, some are commenting that that's not that much, but others are saying every single cent counts when it comes to raising kids. Yes. So they'd be happy to have that money back, that's for sure.
Well, that's the thing. If you're talking about 1 year at $40, okay, times, 3 years that they're in diapers,
and 6
$20.
kids.
And twins. And a lot of people were commenting that people, they have diapers, they may have a kid with eczema or somebody who needs, the special type of diapers that are even more expensive. So that
if
just
somebody
adds
walked
up
up to you and said, "Do you want $40?" you'd say yes.
Right, yeah, that is true.
You get
if anybody wants to do that.
Or $4
right
for you, or 40 cents.
Poverty.
Thanks, Jess.
Take it. All right, well, the state may try to keep closer tabs on some lobster fishermen and women. Adrienne Stein here with more news now. Lawmakers are considering a bill that would allow the state to covertly place GPS devices on fishing boats to track location. Specifically for boat operators suspected of rule violations. No warrant would be necessary either. The bill goes to a work session next. The lobster industry, by the way, is a $500 million industry in this state. Prosecutors say a man from Kennebunk had sex with one of his 14-year-old gymnastics students. Now Jeremy Link is in jail. The 43-year-old made his first court appearance in Portland today. Investigators say Link was found with these allegations. Here we go again. Tonight, the city council in Portland is scheduled to vote on a bond to fix 4 elementary schools. Right now, there are 2 plans in place. There's one plan to borrow $64 million to renovate Longfellow, Lyseth, Presumscott, and Reich Elementary schools. There's also a cost to look at because it's obvious I don't have a child. 2 of those schools. By the way, if this is approved tonight, both bonds would then appear on the November ballot. And of course, guys, we will keep you posted on what happens with that vote tonight.
All right, Adrian, thank you very much. A Facebook post that caught our eye today. South Portland police say that yesterday around noontime, they responded to a possible overdose. And they say, in what has become all too frequent occurrence for them, it was an overdose. An officer administered Narcan, and it was decided that the person needed to go to the hospital. Well, they woke up, and the guy strongly objected and was sent anyway to the hospital. After being released a short time later, the person made a comment about wanting to get more of that, quote, good heroin.
Yeah, they say, quote, this is just a mere glimpse of what it looks like on the front lines of the current opiate crisis. Now, the department says it's pushing for a new position, a substance use disorder liaison. They say that position would help with the crisis. It was tabled during the budget process, but officers say they will continue to push for it within the city council. Other news, Governor LePage asked again about a potential run for Senate next year, but he had a very different answer today. Hear what he has to say next.
And another day, another viral airline video. We will show you the latest, this one from a different airline, as now continues. Well, welcome back, everybody. Some political news for your Monday afternoon. Governor LePage seems to be leaning away from a possible Senate run.
This comes despite an earlier claim he was giving, quote, very serious thought to the idea of challenging Senator Angus King for his post. Today at a news conference, he was asked about his plans for a speaking tour that will start later this year and whether that was connected to a possible run next year.
Is any of that related to an office you might run for next year?
No. No, not at all. I will tell you, folks, I absolutely despise the feel of politics. I despise it.
Can't say I blame him. The governor is holding events around the state to push for lower taxes, saying voters didn't fully understand the consequences of a 3% income surtax that was narrowly approved in November. LePage will also be in Fort Kent tonight for a town hall.
What the story is. I don't care what the story is. You almost hurt a baby.
Okay, did you guys see this over the weekend? Another scandal for an airline.
Yeah, this time it was American Airlines. I got caught watching it. It's a confrontation between a flight attendant and a passenger. It was all caught on camera, obviously, like everything is. And now he is suspended.
Okay, so here's what happened. Witnesses say that attendant yanked a stroller out of an overhead bin and hit a mother, narrowly missing her child. American Airlines responded quickly, saying that this flight attendant is now suspended. There are some people praising the airline's response online, saying they learned from United's mistakes when dealing with this man who was removed from an overbooked flight. Okay, hopefully you were able to get out and enjoy the sunshine because we got some rain coming.
Yeah, Keith, details next.
A lot of people headed to work this Monday a little bit lonelier, or maybe just a little more focused on actual work because the live stream of April the Giraffe was taken down on Friday.
This place in particular. We had all kinds of Facebook friends who were obsessed with April and everyone in this newsroom. So here are some fun numbers. The live stream was posted on February 23rd. Since that time, it has become the second most watched live stream in the history of YouTube. 7.6 billion minutes of watch time. But nobody has time to do laundry.
Right.
The Animal Adventure Park hasn't said how much money it made off of those views, but experts guess it's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for those of you who still miss April. The park has said that the Giraffe Cam is off air while they make some big changes, but don't worry, it's going to return because they just made hundreds of thousands of dollars. And by the way, you can help name April's baby, like Leanda, and go online at nameaprilscalf.com, which they will probably make money off of also.
I would argue Leanda was obviously a much more important name to figure out before April's baby.
What's the #1 YouTube stream of all time?
I believe it was you throwing out the first pitch it had.
It was the first pitch.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what
it was my 50 cent.
That's my guess.
Well, while I do weather, somebody Google that. I'm just curious.
I'm Googling it right now.
Curious what it might be.
The pitch that landed 12 feet away.
Don't be jealous because they didn't ask you to throw it out yet.
Oh,
we can make that happen this year.
You know, it's true.
We'll make it happen.
It's very true.
All right, 62 in Portland, high temperature today. 73 in Freiburg. I was wondering if they got to 70, and they did, along the coastline, of course, in Rockland and Bar Harbor. Not quite with the east-southeast wind. Right now we're in the 50s in a lot of spots. Still some upper 60s, though, across the interior. You know, get out there and enjoy this because it's going downhill over the next couple of days. Rain arrives tomorrow afternoon. It rains through the entire day on Wednesday. There's the clear skies right now. Most of tonight is clear, so if it's something you want to do, get out there and enjoy it. Look at this batch of rain from New York all the way down almost to Charleston, South Carolina, basically, is what you're looking at. So that's a big extent of rain. As it moves in, it's not going to let up over the northeast. So here come the clouds. Now tomorrow morning there will be a little bit of sunshine to start. I don't want you to think the whole day is cloudy. In fact, over northern Maine, it's not until the afternoon that clouds move in. But then the rain comes in a hurry tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and through the entire day on Wednesday. It's pretty much a washout. When it's not raining heavily, we'll be seeing drizzle, and then that moves out on Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We see some improvement by Thursday afternoon. Rainfall amounts might be a little overjuiced here as far as the computer models go, but I'd expect 1 to 1.5 inches of rain pretty consistently, with some areas up to 2 inches of rain. And there will be a little coastal splash over as well, with an astronomically high tide on Wednesday. After that, we start looking ahead to the weekend, and I promised you that we would have some warm weather next weekend, and I still feel that way. I just don't know which day is going to be the warmest, because we're going to be at the mercy of this warm front that will be snaking around New England. To the north of it will be cool, to the south of it will be quite warm. What side we depend on each day is what it comes down to. I think right now Saturday is probably your warmest day, but it could flip pretty easily over the next couple of days, so we'll keep an eye on it. Overall, I've seen better patterns. We will see that warm day again on Saturday. Probably 70 to 72 should do it. Even Friday is going to be mild in the mid-60s. But you know, I don't see a pattern here, guys, where we just break into some extended warmth. It's just not there yet. So we'll go into May kind of flirting back and forth, but no snow.
I mean, it's a trade-off, I guess, right?
So what is it, number one?
According to Wikipedia, Gangnam Style, that music video.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I thought it was, okay, I thought it had to be something live. I didn't realize it was just a video. That was a good video.
You know what, I could clarify
I actually
live.
think he's right. Sorry.
All right, we'll look
We'll
it up again.
We'll get another break.
Hey, by the way, so identity theft, one of those things you hear about on the news, obviously, but it kind of doesn't seem real until it happens to you. And more than 13 million people were victims of identity theft last year. And in 2015, more than 1 in 3 Mainers said they were victims.
So one of the best ways to learn about how these people do it is to talk to someone who's actually been convicted of identity theft himself. And here's how.
Day after day, we hand over our credit card numbers, debit card accounts, and checks without much thought. At cash registers, over the phone and internet, even dropping them in the mail. In North Carolina, it's estimated that 400,000 people every year become victims of identity theft. It's not always a high-tech crime.
It was like going shopping, was just driving through a neighborhood at night and seeing who had left their mail out for the next night.
Rob Smith served 5.5 years in federal prison.
Wire fraud and identity theft. I had over 500 accounts of each.
Smith called it easy money.
What's the most you were able to get away with?
About $110,000 for 9 months of working on the weekends and having a good time the rest of the week.
The damage done long before the victim even realized it.
It was simply just slicing the envelope open, taking a picture of the account. They'll never know if you seal it up and the check goes on to where they proposed it to be. I'd simply get the account information, print out checks, and go shopping, and then sell the stuff on Craigslist or whatever.
Smith made fake IDs and even opened bogus accounts.
And I gotta tell you, I pick the older people that don't, pay attention.
Social media made it easy to take the fraud even further. The information for likely passwords and security question answers available at your fingertips.
Birthday, cars, school, pet names.
Smith believes banks should ask more variable security questions. He says there's a whole black market for your information.
You can buy access numbers to credit cards, and then you have to pay for it because they're not going to do it, but they'll give you that for hundreds of dollars or whatever.
I asked Smith what people can learn from his story.
Be secure in what you do. Don't mail out your checks if you don't need to. You can make a lot of those payments online.
Smith says the safest way to mail a check is to drop it in the mailbox at the post office. Also, check the legitimacy of websites. Take advantage of privacy settings and notifications. Check statements and shred documents that contain personal information. Smith says at the time he didn't think he was doing anything wrong. Now he sees it differently.
I was lucky. God was protecting me.
Smith is part of Ground 40, which seeks to help former convicts rebuild their life.
I might have a smile on my face, but it's not from what I did. It's because I know I'm free from sin of that. I know that I've gotten, I've got my work to do now.
All right, News Center 5:30 coming up next. Cindy here with a sneak peek.
That's right. Fire crews right now are on the scene of a fire in Augusta. It has shut down roads at this point. We're going to have a live report from the scene. As President Trump approaches his 100th day in office, he has some really major deadlines ahead of him, one that could end in a government shutdown. We'll have the latest on that. And there's a push to establish marijuana social clubs in Maine. We're going to look at the pros and cons of such businesses and find out what lawmakers think of the idea. It's all ahead at 5:30.
All right, thank you very much. News Center Now continues in a minute. We'll meet a little big champ. Welcome back, everybody. So, what'd you do this weekend?
Oh, I just relaxed, enjoyed some time outside.
Kind of like a Netflix and chill weekend for you?
Like outside, yeah.
Like every day.
Yeah, basically.
Well, not Kylan Berry, because the 8-year-old from Hollis went to the Ohio Tournament of Champions, which is a prestigious national wrestling tournament. Kylan, who's a second grader from Edna Libby School, not only competed, he won. Yep, you're looking at the 2017 National 40-pound champion. It's believed that Kylan's only the second youth in state history to win a national title at this event, and that is pretty cool.
I was smiling, I gave my dad a hug, and I gave my coach a half five, and I walked off with a big smile.
Were you surprised that you won?
Yes, very surprised.
And happy?
Yep.
And that smile came out?
Yep.
Now, if I want to wrestle you, would you beat me?
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't take a lot of time to think about that answer. That was just like, yeah, I'd win. And I was like, he's right. But it's okay.
Yeah. Well, he knows what he's doing.
As it turns out.
Did you see the Wizard sweatshirt?
It's awesome.
By the way?
Pretty rad.
Keith actually owns it in a different color.
We got Weather Wizard now.
Same size, different color.
No, it's just medium.
Raindrops today. I have an assignment for the class. Viewers included. I want you guys to watch something on Netflix. It's called Cowspiracy. So I kind of queued up so you can find it. Just look it up here. And the basic premise of this documentary is that livestock, cattle, is more responsible for greenhouse gas emissions than all the transportation sector combined. It also goes on to make the argument that it is the main reason for ripping down the rainforest. And so it links our meat-eating habits to most of the bad things going on Earth. I'm not saying it's right or not, but I want you to watch it, and then we'll come back on Wednesday and kind of talk about it. And I'll show you some things that I found. Some parts of this are very accurate, other parts are misleading, like many things. But it's something that's worth watching. Not for kids, by the way. There are a few moments of animal violence in this, but it's very interesting.
Homework from
I
Professor
think we've done
Carson.
our share of promoting Netflix tonight.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.